bugs. Yannick found a couple things that definitely need to be finished. But once that round of testing is done, then we get to launch V1. So we're still kind of on like an any day basis. Things are going good there. I will let Pike do most of the talking on that just because he's a little bit more intellectual when it comes to that, as opposed to me. I'm just the good looks and the bad jokes. However, we do have a couple of VCs coming up. We have a meeting being rescheduled with a company called Hypernet. We were supposed to meet with them last week, but it ended up not working out. So we're going to be meeting with them this week. That was a major company. They had a booth out at NFT LA, and they've been super interested in us since we met them. So meeting coming up with them. Also, Meme Lords. If you guys didn't hear before, Meme Lords is going to be launching their game and their NFTs and everything exclusively on MemeNFT. And when I say exclusively on MemeNFT, I mean they are going to upload their collection to MemeNFT. Now, if someone was to go and try to like sell it on OpenSeas, whatever they buy, then that's on them. But yeah, we've been talking with them for a couple weeks now. John and I really dived into their project, and they have a pretty darn cool project. So they actually want to host an AMA for MemeNFT over in their community. They have a pretty large, pretty active community. So hopefully get some followers out of that. And then we'll probably do the same. We'll do a reverse host them in our community. A couple big spaces being scheduled next week. Trying to get us on the Chimp Tank talk to have MemeNFT be hosted on Chimp Tank. They typically have around 100 people in spaces when they do it. So we're just getting ready to kind of button up and start pushing out some marketing now that the marketplace is like just right around the corner. Some of the mods and some community members I spoke with that have showed interest in the past with helping with marketing. So now with how busy we are at all times, all the executives, with how busy we are with all the calls, the meetings, the spaces, the AMAs, whatever it is, we don't have as much time to do some of the smaller marketing stuff, like getting banners put out on sites, filling out forms, like little basic stuff like that. So we are getting ready to create kind of a war room for that, or a task room for that. And if you do have interest in having an input in some of that marketing, basically what will happen is we'll start out with, let's say, a lower budget, maybe like $2,000, $3,000 for a couple weeks for that room. And then everyone that volunteers to be in there to help will kind of discuss amongst themselves what they think will be beneficial in terms of ROI and in terms of marketing for the marketplace coming out. And then they'll bring it to the executives. We'll sign off on it and pay for it. And then after the couple weeks are up, we'll look at the analytics and see how successful the ROIs were for what the community decided to do with marketing. And if it works out well, then we'll increase the budget and we'll continue it. So we're starting to try to bring members of our community, committed members of our community, so mods and members that have been here for a long time and they're in here every day talking, into the kind of the inner workings to have a say with how things are done. Because while we are not a DAO, we do want to treat it like a DAO in the sense that the community and heavy investors and early investors get to have kind of a say in where we go. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited. I know some of the guys that are going to be doing this. So I'm excited to see what they put together. But they'll just be handling mostly the smaller stuff, like I said, like banners, maybe YouTube ad campaigns, Twitter promotions, stuff like that. And then we'll be focusing on more of the big stuff. So the conventions, we are already discussing getting set up for Austin in June, New York, I think at the end of June. And then probably a couple of months after New York, we're looking into doing a major convention with Decentral out in Singapore, as well as in Miami at the end of the year, which is the big 15,000 person event. So if we play our cards right, MemeNFT will be going to Austin, New York, Singapore, and Miami, hopefully this year. It really all depends, but we've been talking with the CEO from Decentral pretty heavily, and he's a huge fan of ours. We had a long meeting with him the other day, and it looks like we're going to be able to work out some kind of partnership where we maybe do some videography, some documentation, having Daniel there, and that kind of stuff in exchange for having a big booth, a big MemeNFT booth at all these conventions, as well as some banner ads and stuff like that. So it's pretty exciting. If it all lays out, this MemeNFT is going to be traveling all year, and it's going to be incredible, especially if we have a 10 by 20 or a 20 by 20 foot booth at each of these conventions. I mean, imagine MemeNFT out in Singapore. That's awesome. I'm super excited to see that work out. We're also going to be looking into doing more media ads when the marketplace comes out. I've been wanting to do these for a while. In fact, we had a $10,000 budget set up for YouTube about a month and a half ago. You guys might remember. The only reason we didn't do it was because of the marketplace delay. So we've been waiting to do a lot of this marketing, because if we spend a bunch of money on marketing right now, all it does is tell people what we want to do, because there's not a product out, and not what we have. So we've been waiting to have the marketplace out, waiting to have it polished, so that when we actually advertise, we can advertise a real product. So lots of good stuff in the works, guys. It's going to be a super, super busy week coming up this week as we get ready to turn the water on, if you will, and launch V1. And V1 has got a bunch of stuff. We already have a bunch of fun functions in there. But just remember, when this launches, it's going to be, 7 chains. It's going to have features that aren't on OpenSeas yet, and then we're going to be adding constantly. So as V1 is live, we're going to be live updating. We'll be adding stuff like bulk buy shopping carts, badges, all sorts of fun little stuff going to be coming. So it's going to be a fun couple months, I think, as we really see it grow into the full potential of what it can be. Pike,
yeah,
segue.
sure. So testing on the marketplace, it's been popping in the testnet chat that we have. As you guys know, we decided until we fully integrate the API for our image proxy, we didn't want to open it up fully to the public again, just to mitigate any kinds of future issues. But everything's looking good. The proxy's doing very well. Malibu, he just today finished the implementation. Actually, it was last night. I think it was at midnight my time. Finished the implementation of pretty much a moderation tab for any employee under MemeNFT that was selected. They essentially have a tab that pops up on listings, and we can strike down manually anything that's uploaded that breaks terms of services, or just altogether shouldn't be up there. So that was pretty cool. I tested that out. Pretty simple.
And that has a wide range of functions, right? For the suggested moderation for moderators.
Yeah, I mean, there's numerous different keywords. It links to the image proxy. It's just it's built in, so it's a manual review in case something does slip through. Obviously, things can happen. People can edit and modify images to trick stuff. So we add that extra manual review process, so that way if it does go through, we still have that ability to take it down. We are optimizing the buys, sells, and auction history, so that's looking good. From my knowledge, Leaks is itching to get with Malibu to update the UI to something more appealing to the eyes, but obviously we want to make sure that functionality is there before we start messing with the front end interface.
Yep. Yeah, I'm excited to see what Leaks does, man. I'm excited to see him kind of bring the colors onto brand and just kind of polish things up, make the font look like it's not a PowerPoint. But I mean, it's just these last little quick button issues, like getting the auction and bids and stuff fixed and finalized, and then we get to launch. So it's really just kind of like once we have the communal decision between the executives as well as the devs, and we all mutually agree, yep, this is a good point to launch at. So we're right around the corner, guys. Testing is going crazy. Again, I really want to thank everyone that is in that test group and that has been testing constantly. Wes, D-Vision, Cryptorama, Yannick. I mean, I can't even name everyone, but just know that I really appreciate you guys. You guys have been putting in the real work. This is the stuff that gets us closer to launch, because we find these tiny little bugs, tiny little typos, tiny little UI display errors, and then we just get closer to launching. So
exactly. We we have a lot of things that we have planned to optimize and scale the marketplace that we're pitching around. So, but I'm not going to get too much into that. A lot of it is still concept.
Right.
Nothing's been done. So, but I'm excited.
Yeah, that's important to say. A lot of the stuff, a lot of the features that we're going to be updating and adding to live when the marketplace is launched is stuff that, like Noah said, is stuff that hasn't been done on a marketplace anywhere yet. So we don't have anything to base it off of. So we have to build it, test it, make sure it functions and works. But there's some really cool, just little things. Like one of the things I'm most excited about, obviously, would be like the built-in rarity tools, but even as simple as having a shopping cart so that you can spend a couple hours going around finding which NFTs you want to buy and then bulk buying them in one purchase so that you get to utilize the 721A contract, which is, for those of you that don't know, basically like right now it works for collections. In fact, maybe Pike wants to talk about collections, but it just treats it as one transaction. So you're basically paying the gas for one NFT, but instead you're minting an entire collection.
I mean, ERC 721A, they used a lot of different, pretty much they modified the storages, and they took a lot away that was in ERC 721 numeral. And overall, like it's a fantastic platform, but it's a hybrid system when it comes to 721 and 1155. 1155, it bases the gas fees based off of a batch mint, whereas ERC 721 is per mint. So pretty much you're getting that 1155 functionality when minting, compared to your ERC 721, which is pretty cool. I'm actually excited for the ERC 721B to be audited, and so I can see the security, basis to see if it is secure, because when a contract becomes too lightweight, obviously it will cause issues with security. One of the biggest issues with smart contracts is known as reentrancy attacks, and that's something that doesn't usually happen with NFTs. What it happens with is bridges between networks. Any contract that allows you to deposit and withdraw from that contract will have reentrancy issues. So a really cool library out there is Reentrancy Guard to stop that from happening. But obviously, like I said, technology is always changing. People come up with new ways to get around stuff. Exploits are always going to happen. There's nothing out there that's going to be 100% secure.
Right. Yep, that's why we're protected as much as possible on the legal side, I'm trying to think if I have any specific updates. I don't think Wes has anything to update, and he's in the middle of a bachelor party, so he probably shouldn't pitch his updates right now anyways. But yeah, so we're just gonna continue, hopefully a couple days, maybe 3 days. I don't know. It's all day by day. It really depends on the testing, because we need to make sure everything, at least the base functions, are there, right? So the buys, the sells, the list by collection, which is functioning. Noah tested that the other day and put a couple collections by contract up onto the marketplace. So that's awesome. That's going to be probably the source of most of our volume, is going to come from projects putting their entire collections on there and having a huge fan base of people trading it, versus, one-off artists putting their stuff on there. That'll still bring volume, but it won't bring the scale of volume like collections. So having that working and functioning right now, being able to upload a collection by smart contract is awesome. We're just getting some fine-tuned stuff going with the auctions, the bids, the bid histories, and offers. But once that's done, it's basically the base function of the marketplace. And then we just really have to kind of clean up and pretty up the UI, and then we launch. I would love to launch next week. That's my goal.
Oh yeah,
like
most definitely.
Midweek, like Wednesday, would be amazing.
And for anyone out there that is into development, you're planning to launch your own NFT project and whatnot, and you want to use our marketplace, we will be providing an API once Malibu and Pat have it all situated, to mint directly to our marketplace for the listing, because an issue that happens with collections, like if you import a collection that was originally minted and the API was pointed to list to OpenSeas, when you list it onto LooksRare, the individuals that own each token ID, they have to list it themselves. So we will have an API out there for you guys to put into your React app. So that way it does the full listings first and then transfers over back to the Mint platform, and your users can mint it, and it automatically uploads the entire collection.
So that's a huge function that he just talked about right there, because like he said in the example, it's something that is an issue with projects that are pointed towards OpenSeas and then try to get listed, like he said, on LooksRare. So this is an issue that we're solving, which is going to be amazing to have on our marketplace, being able to kind of skip that step and point directly to MemeNFT through our own built API. That's going to be awesome. And that's just one of the examples of just little things. Man, there is a long list of little things that are going to be added as we grow in the next month, 2 months, whatever it is. That's just going to make this marketplace. Just the fact that we're so multi-chain right now and on the Wyvern protocol and the 721A contract and the functions that we have already, that sets us apart from most projects, hands down, just on the first V1 launch. But then once we start adding these little intricacies and these little features, we're just going to be so far away from everyone else's little utilities that it'll only be a matter of time before it blows up, Yeah,
man. No, I'm excited, and I'm especially excited to when my little cultist group that I got going on, we decide on how to put I've been talking to you about on paper and test it, because I want to get that out there. And
you're just teasing people right now, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna tease. I'm not gonna say anything that identifies, future scalability of the project.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's huge. It's huge what we're talking about. That's all we should say.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's huge, and I'm just gonna let the people wander, in their minds, because to my knowledge, there's only been one other project that has done this.
Basically, eventually we want to not be paired to a chain, if that makes sense. That's all. I liked your noise you made to interrupt me.
Okay,
that was enough.
We're gonna reset the room here. We're gonna reset.
That's all I'm gonna say. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm sure anyone with half a brain can figure that out. If not, the other half of your brain is just fine, and I'm sure it's beautiful. Let's go to the community really quick. I'd love to hear from a couple community members, especially if you've been testing the marketplace. I would love for you, if you're okay with it, to come up here and maybe just do a 60-second talk about what you've seen on the testnet, how you feel it's looking, and the overall quality of it, minus the small bugs and errors that have been there. So if anyone wants to speak, please feel free. Cool.
Sorry, Matt.
There's Master. Master's been busting ass too.
Sorry, just doing dishes here. But yeah, no, the testing that I've been doing looks really good. I've been mostly focused on mobile, just because that's my comfort zone when it comes to interacting with software and applications like this. And usually try to go from a mobile first perspective when we're doing web stuff. Right, where I come from. But so yeah, it's it's clean, it's sharp, and I think you guys already mentioned a couple of pieces still being worked on, right? So it'd be nice to get over a couple of those pieces being resolved, and then kind of move on to some next steps, some next pieces of testing. Looking forward to getting like a centralized issue log going, so everybody knows what's being worked on, what's been reported, what's been acknowledged, and then we can kind of look to see when it's resolved, and we can go retest versus checking, and not knowing if we should check again,
right.
Check yet again, right? So That's where I'm at. It's like hard to take the next step in testing until I get.
Yeah, when Wes is not busy, drinking his face off, he's gonna be setting up that form, because we want to basically track it and have a checklist of stuff so we can just go through it and check it off as it's finalized. But overall, Master, you've been happy with the overall design and functionality of it for the most part? Keep in mind the UI is going to be updated and it's going to look a lot nicer than it already does. But
I haven't even really been focusing on the UI too much. There's a couple things I'll suggest after. I'm more worried about, like the buy function properly.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Stuff. But
yeah, no, it's really good. Really good.
Awesome.
I mean, definitely talking about bachelor parties here. If I'm correct, it's what, 1 week since Fujin's been married?
Oh my gosh. Is Fujin in here right now?
Yeah, she is.
Nice. Congratulations. Yeah, man, marriage is one of the coolest things on the planet. It's really funny, like my whole life, I've kind of been like a serial entrepreneur, much like a lot of us here. So I did a lot of things, like I ran a record label in the Bay Area for many years. And I was always kind of like a party guy and kind of, doing stuff by the sole of my own boot. And I never really thought that I would get married. And I had, plenty of relationships. But the second I met my wife, like literally the second, I knew, I was like, I need to know more about this person. We started dating. And within the first month of dating her, I was like, this is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. I knew it right away. And it's an absolutely incredible feeling. So huge congratulations to Fujin. I wish you nothing but years of happiness and success in your marriage. That's awesome.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah. And let us know when you have kids, because we'll give them a job here. We'll put them to work. Yeah.
Will do.
Yeah. We'll pay 25 cents and a stick of spearmint gum per hour. Yannick, do you have anything you want to say?
Well, sure. Being a dev myself, overall testing has been quite smooth. But being a dev, I like to look at things behind the veil and behind the scenes a little bit. So I brought up a few items. Along the way, I was bringing items to Pike, and I think the best thing about the project is to be open, put the ego aside, because there's a lot with a project of this magnitude. It's very easy to get an ego going, but if you can keep an open mind and accept ideas and be able to change things for the better of the project, there's no stopping where you can actually go. So overall, the testing has been very good. And I'm very excited to what's coming. And
Yannick has had. Go ahead, Pike. You can blow smoke in Yannick's head.
Yannick, however you pronounce it, I don't want to butcher it, so I apologize. But pretty much, what he's brought forth was a lot of back end stuff, such as optimization for mobile. The refresh rate and listeners, and it's just the small details that we didn't necessarily put most of our manpower towards, that he did bring to light. Obviously, it was more of the functionality that we were going for, and he did more of the optimization, such as the refresh rate, which was at 2. It refreshed every 2 seconds. And now we scaled it back a little bit, just so that way it wasn't draining mobile batteries. I appreciate everything that he's brought to me, and I brought to Malibu and Pat, because overall it makes us better. And so everything's Gucci, and I'm loving it.
Yeah. Is there anyone else in the room that has been testing, has played around with the testnet, and would like to say anything? If not, don't worry about it. I just like having the community. One of the best things about the community testing is I feel like when the community members talk to the community members, it shows a little bit more faith to the community, right? Because it's not just us up here making promises and talking about the same stuff we always talk about. I think if it comes from the word of the mouth of other investors, I think it's awesome. So that's why I like to give you guys a chance to come up here and talk about it.
The only thing that I wanted to say is, when you connect your wallet, like when usually you'd have a section like in your profile that would show everything that you hold. It just automatically pops up like your whole NFT collection, everything that you hold in your wallet. Because I'm a lazy person and I don't go and specifically import. I never import like my NFTs to my wallet. All I do is go to OpenSea to see what I've got inside my wallet.
Right. Yeah, that's actually a good thing to bring up because that's going to be something that we're heavily going to be adding to as we continue to grow. A lot of the functions and features that we want to add to the marketplace after launch is focused a lot on the profile customization. But eventually, and hopefully before we even launch, I don't know if Pike can speak to where Malibu is with that, but we've discussed that because I'm the same way, being able to open up your profile or connect your wallet, go to your profile and see everything right there. So that's definitely something that's coming within, hopefully before we launch live.
I thought it would have been, but
yeah.
That's like
we just haven't done a lot of profile stuff right now for testing because right now we're trying to make sure there's no point testing a profile yet, and if you can't do an auction or you can't do this, so we got to make sure those things are done. And then it goes into customization of the profile. But he does have the profile tab all set up. If you go there, it'll show your address, and then you can upload your own personalized picture and stuff. So it's a quick, easy little update as far as I'm concerned. I don't know if Pike has something he wants to say about that.
Yeah, like I said, scalability. I don't know if you want me to go entirely in depth into what we are ultimately going to do, but with blockchain, there's only so much you can do and storage when it comes to IPFS, and ultimately there will have to be some sort of backend server, this server to house information such as user profile, so that way your wallet address is always linked to the same profile, and we can scale that way. So there's a lot that we have talked about, and I've addressed that we more than likely will have to go that route, especially if we grow larger than anticipated. We're going to have a very heavy workload, and it's hard to solely rely on the blockchain, because the processing power of our marketplace and the speeds of transactions and the loading times and whatnot, it's all dependent on the current blockchain speeds. So if Ethereum gets clogged up, that would affect transactions and loading speeds on the Ethereum side of our network. And if BSC goes down, there's a lot of things that come into play when solely relying on blockchain. Now, with that said, if we do back-end server it and build an infrastructure back there for user profiles and just small other additions, it would be limited user information gathering, so that way we're not collecting anything personalized other than your wallet address is attached to that profile. We still want to keep the decentralized aspect, and we're not trying to fully store user information.
Right.
We want to be able to notify you guys if a bid went through, if a sell went through, if your buy went through. Obviously, this will be optional on your profile. You would submit an email address, and it would notify you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. So lots of good stuff, guys. Go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah, sorry. The other thing, obviously, goes back to the profile too, that you want to see all your bid history, all the offers, obviously you made, what's been accepted, and then all your activity pretty much.
Yes, yeah, sir, exactly. Yes, that's one thing that Malibu is working on currently is auction
as
history.
We speak. Yeah, he's working on that currently as we speak. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. I will be making some posts here soon about the AMA we're going to have coming up with the Meme Lords, as well as the AMA that we're going to be hosting for the Meme Lords and here, and then a couple spaces that I'm hoping to set up this week, as well as a couple probably Telegram AMAs. So just bear with me. Once I get things confirmed, I'll make posts like we do, or Prop will make posts like he does, I guess, and we'll keep you guys up to date. And then, oh, nice, Sir $1 or Win $1 said, Meme Lords. He said, I love that project. Yeah, they're a really cool project. They've got a game being developed. It's in the style of like the original Zelda meets like Pokemon on Game Boy. And all the characters are collectible, like celebrity meme characters. So they're working on, like, I actually sent them a couple connections to the guy that does, like, holds the American flag in the middle of a hurricane and listens to death metal, as well as the creator of, like, Pepe the Frog. They have a bunch of characters on there. They're hoping to get Jake and Logan Paul added to it. So they are planning to be exclusive with our marketplace. I meet with them every single day. So does Fully Voxed. And they are just like hyper bullish on this project as well as we are with them. So we're going to do a little cross collaboration and get an AMA going in their community with us and get an AMA with us in our community. So it should be a fun little cross network. I actually asked Pike today what he thought about Meme Lords, and he was like, I actually don't know a lot because there's so many groups. Like if you ask Pike, myself, if you ask Nate, Fully Vox, there's probably like 20 groups of people and projects that want to be on our marketplace that are reaching out to us. So it's like super hard to juggle them until we get to like pen to paper kind of thing. But it's good. That's a good problem to have. I mean, we're just getting like bombarded with people wanting to add their project to the marketplace. So I think it's going to be hot, man. I think it's going to be hot. And Krill NFTs are starting to pick up a lot. And honestly, I'm not a huge fan of Crypto.com's marketplace that they just did. That being said, they do have the brand recognition, but Crow NFTs are starting to pick up quite a bit. And I think we're going to see a lot on our Crow network on our marketplace. So super excited we get to come out with all of those chains and add a couple more chains as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Any final words, Pike?
No, I mean, I'm super busy, you know, doing with the new thing that I talked about. I've been on my computer pretty much for the last like 3-4 hours trying to get all the libraries and dependencies set up.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I'm excited for, you know, the testing phase to be over, it to be out, and that development and oversight on the marketplace will never stop. You know, obviously we need to monitor it. We always need to evolve and continue pushing updates. But definitely with the initial launch, we as you know, the team can take a sort of a breath of fresh air and take the weight off of our shoulders. You know, it is a very work intensive time right now. So, you know, it'll be great to see it, you know, in action and people using it.
I'm so excited to see it launch.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like losing my mind over here, man.
But yeah, no, other than that, I ain't got nothing else to say.
Yeah. So quick little recap. Testing is going fantastically. We have a large number of our community working on it, hardcore working on it, some of which are experienced developers like Yannick, who's been looking into the back end. And this has been just imperative for the growth and the progress towards being able to launch the marketplace. Currently, Malibu and Pat are working on the bids, the auctions, the auction history, and profile stuff. We have some upcoming AMAs. We have some upcoming spaces. We're starting a little marketing group for community members that have been here since the beginning, as well as top holders, as well as moderators, to be able to have a say in what kind of marketing we're going to do once this marketplace launches. And one of the funnest pieces of news, in my opinion, is our relationship building with Decentral and Justin Wu, the CEO of Decentral. If we can continue to grow this relationship and possibly have a long-term partnership with Decentral, this is going to be massive, because not only does it mean we get to go to all these events and have one of the biggest booths and have MemeNFT banners everywhere, but eventually what we're trying to harbor and what we're getting pretty close towards is an actual partnership with them, and possibly doing our own MemeNFT by Decentral NFT convention, hosting our whole own entire convention. At that point, when we get to the point where we host our own convention with Decentral, I will feel like we've made it in life, because that means the marketplace is successful enough to be able to put its name on an entire convention and fly people out from all over the world to talk about their projects. So if all goes well and all goes by plan, MemeNFT will be going to Austin, Texas, June 7th through the 9th. We have a lot of fun stuff planned for that booth. Possible original artwork canvas done by Derek Turcotte to have flown out there and have auctioned off. And the way the auction would work is people at the convention would either have to buy $100 worth of Ethereum, or pay $100 worth of Ethereum, or they'd have to buy $100 on the chart. Either way, both finances would go back to the chart. The only reason we offer the Ethereum one is because a lot of these conventions are Ethereum people. But basically, they would make a $100 purchase. It would give them a raffle ticket, and then at the end of the convention, they would win that original canvas by Derek Turcotte, as well as an NFT that matches it. So that'd be a little fun thing. Again, that's not anything finalized. That's just stuff we're talking about. We're also talking about bringing out the whole camera setup, the audio equipment again, and having an interview booth at every convention we do, where basically there's a couch with a bunch of screens, and myself and Fully Voxed sit there and interview all the projects at the conventions and talk to them about their projects and make a short film for each convention. So if all goes well, we're going to Austin, Texas, 7th through the 9th. Right after that, it would be New York for Ape Fest. That's most likely going to be Jonathan heading out to that one. And then there's Singapore, and then there's Decentral Miami, which is the big blowout 15,000 person plus event. So it's going to be a really, really exciting year, especially if this marketplace gets launched, in a week and takes off. And by the time we're going to these conventions, it's the household name. I mean, I can't think of anything better than walking into a convention in Singapore and seeing a 20-foot banner that says MemeNFT. That would be my dream come true. So I see Daniel Moncada going heavy in the chat, blowing smoke in my head. Is he in the VC right now?
Not that I see, but I do have one question, Pickles, and I'm pretty sure this came through everyone's mind.
Uh-oh. Are the shells on?
This couch.
No,
What
it's not a
color is
cast.
this
It's not a casting couch. If that's the question,
okay.
That was my past career. Okay, Pike.
Okay.
Yeah.
I heard couch interviews, and had to make sure.
Yeah, the other thing we talked about is eventually having Derek Turcotte is super busy. For those of you that don't know, he has like 300,000 followers on Instagram. He's an extremely well-known, world-renowned tattoo artist. So he's booked up until like easily next year. But we talked about having him come to a convention next year where he does a live NFT, like a huge scale live detailed NFT, and we'd be projecting it onto a screen while he's doing it. So just fun stuff like that. And we have ideas like that with tons of people, with like the Blue Chimps, with the Apocalyptic Apes, with different celebrities, with different potential partnerships, some fun ideas with Daniel Moncada and possibly his brother, Louis Moncada. So our whole goal is to make a presence at these events, right? With a banner, with a booth, but also having interactive stuff that really draw people in. Because once we get them in the booth, I can sell them on anything. I could sell a freezer to an Eskimo. So it's just the trick of getting them in, right? Look at handsome Wes with his fleece vest and his sunglasses in the chat. You're so handsome, Wes.
Dude, it's fucking cold, man.
You got the little salt and pepper goatee going. I like it.
Yeah, we're busy playing spike ball in the middle of the lake.
Yeah, let's go. So yeah, that's a little bit of an update for everyone. That was actually more than I had planned to say, and this is why I always get yelled at afterwards, because the executives are like, "Why did you say that?" But I have a hard time holding stuff back from the community. Anyways, guys, I am jumping off. I am due in another space right now. For those of you that don't know, the Bulls and Apes project, which we're pretty close with, it's going to be one of the biggest NFT projects probably of the year, is in a space right now on Twitter. It's called the Bulls and Apes. And MemeNFT, myself, and Fully Voxed have been really building a strong relationship with those guys. So hopefully we can get a little something going on here. So if you guys have nothing else to do, I recommend going in there. Otherwise, stick with us. Keep updating us. If you're testing, keep testing. Test every little thing. I don't care if it's a typo. I don't care if it's a UI display error. If a button's not clicking through, test every little thing, because the more that we test, the closer we get to launch. Okay? Peace, love, 2009. Ja Rule for president. What's up?
Tommy just made another $2,500. Hey, what's up? Tommy just made another $2,500 buy, so just wanted to shout him out for that.
Let's go. So
there we go, Tommy.
For those of you that don't know, Crypto Cowboy is an old friend of ours, a very close friend of Daniel Moncada's. I've known him for, 6 months now. Fully Vox has known him for a little bit longer than that. He's also part of the Meme Lords project that I was talking about earlier in the VC that we're super excited to be working with. And doing an AMA with and whatnot. So big shout out to the Crypto Cowboy, big shout out to Meme Lords, and big shout out to Tommy for that $2,600 buy on the chart. Pew, pew, pew.
To the moon.
To the moon. All right, boys and girls. Love you all. See you in the chat.